Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at this fantastic little ZT knife. But not only are we going to look at this knife, but we're going to kind of compare it to its contemporaries. And that's going to be a lot of fun and very interesting. So why don't you come on with me and check out the video.
Everybody was concerned.
Let's see what you got. Hell no.
Hell no.
All right.
I can't do it as good as you can.
All right. Welcome back to the Fortified Castle. Hi to all my viewers. Bonjour, privet, guten tag, hola, ciao, konnichiwa. Good day, mate, to my foreign viewers. And yeah, we're going to look at this fantastic knife today. I did want to take one small diversion. So I've been working on these beads here. And this was my first one. I kind of like that. Got a light blue tint to it. And I did these two yesterday. And this one is got a lot of blue and a little bit of yellow to it. Look at that. And this one right here. So I'm getting better. You know, it's really hard when you're heating these up and trying to get this color. You got, as soon as it starts turning blue, basically you got to pull it out of the flame, and you know, it's just a matter of learning. So yeah, we're getting there. Hey, but you came here to look at this, and I came here to show this. So let's go ahead and check this thing out. All right, so this is a ZT0450. It's a smaller variety. ZT is known for their robust builds. Here's a big old, this is a 909 from Les George. And let's see. Yeah, Les George. And they started out being these robust, overbuilt folders. But after a couple of years, ZT kind of settled down a little bit, and they started making some other models. This is a nice medium folder right here in carbon fiber. This is a box it came in, just plain little cardboard box. It was floating around in there. Little package right here, that's it. So kind of an unimpressive box, but that's okay because the knife makes up for it, and the knife is very impressive. It is 7. Let me measure it again. I want to say 7.5, but it's not quite 7.5 inches. It's 7 3/8 inches overall, with a 4 1/4 inch handle and a 3 1/4 inch blade. And if you look at this blade and the plunge grind right here, this edge is 3 3/16, so almost the full length of the blade is edge, if you can see that there in relation to this parallel right there. So you know, eking out every bit of that blade. Let's talk about the blade. So the blade is a drop point. You can see some nice flats up here, different geometries, very nice, pronounced, and well executed swedge on this knife. Really classic design to it, classic drop point design. Long cutting edge on the bottom with a little belly sweep here up to a sharp point. There's no distal taper on this knife until you get to the point, which is right here. So that much of a point gives you a pretty strong point for a little tiny knife and a little thin edge. This is a 0.112 in diameter. And people have said this is I've heard it described as a hollow grind, but really that is a flat grind. And if you look at it carefully, it's not hollow ground in here. It's flat ground down to a very thin edge. Very nicely produced edge. Very, very sharp. So I've run a hole across this edge and I can cut hair on every portion of this edge. Very well executed edge. And there's your model number. Kai is the producer. That is Kershaw. Sinkovich design. It's S35BN. And there's your serial number. Let's see. You have a very nice, true carbon fiber side on this. Everything is Cerakoted, so this the pivot pin and the attaching pins are Cerakoted, as well as the blade. So this blade is Cerakoted too. Nicely done. On the back, we'll go back to that. On the back, you have titanium frame lock. Very strong lock on this knife. Nice clip. Put this knife into my pajamas, no problem. So I don't think you'll have any problem putting it into a pair of jeans or tactical pants. And some nicely anodized emerald green standoffs. Now, I wish they would have anodized the other points too. That would have looked sharp on the knife, but maybe I can work on that. You can see that in your hand. 4 1/4 inch. It is what I would call a medium folder, and so it's kind of funny. In slip joints, we would call that a large slip joint, but this is not a slip joint. And a regular folder, it's kind of like this Praxis. They're a lot bigger regular folders in modern folders, and so I would call this a medium at 4 inches. And really, really nice lines on this knife. You have a nice bow here, dips down a little, comes up just a hair right there. You get some nice jumping here. It doesn't gnaw in, cut into you, but it gives you some hold there. Works well. Really nice knife. So let's have a little bit of fun. So this comparison is going to be fun, educational, and interesting all at once. So my first comparison is the Hogue Deca. Put it up to there. And you can see it's very, very similar. Actually, the Deca has a longer handle. The Deca has a FRN handle and a MagnaCut blade. This is S35BN right there. Very comparable. And when I did the review on this knife, I called it the bug out killer, because I realized how similar to the bug out that this knife is, and it's better. So it's also less money. And so let's do another comparison. The Buck Sprint Pro in brown burlap micarta, S30V steel. Again, you can see very comparable to this 450. And if you look at the blades, though, the blade stock on the Buck is actually a lot bigger. But actually they feel about the same. So these burlap micarta scales really add a lot of rigidity to this. And the carbon fiber is very, very strong. And then the titanium is too. So this feels very solid here, which you don't get in the Deca, by the way. So the Deca, the FRN scales are kind of flimsy. And let's see, what's another one? How about, the Kaiser chili pepper. Now the Kaiser chili pepper is just a tad smaller, The handle is the same, 4 1/4, 4 1/8 inch, that's what the measurement is on this. But the blade is smaller. The blade is 1/4 inch smaller. And the blade is 154 cm. That is not a super steel, but it is a very good steel and one of my favorites. So you get Magna Cut on the Hogue, S30V on the Buck, and S35B on the ZT. And I'll give you one more comparison. The Kershaw Leak. Ooh, yeah. This actually was a gift to me from Kevin, the knife doctor. Really nice of him. And there is the Leak in comparison. Once again, they're all very similar in size, So they're really, these companies are fighting a battle for the middle ground, for these middle folders. And I think a lot of guys like these. So I do. I carried this Leak a long time and liked it a lot. I carried the Hogue a long time. I liked it a lot. I carried the Bucksburn Pro for a long time. It's fantastic. And I just finished carrying this Kershaw for about 3 months. And it's a really, really nice knife. I've actually been leaving this on my table and using it a lot. Yeah. Now, I want to bring up the history of ZT, because ZT came about in 2006 when Kershaw decided that they'd like to have an upscale, overbuilt knife. And I mentioned that before. Initially, their first knives were military knives, and then they got into the primary market, which is us, and they just make these really overbuilt, awesome knives. I've carried this thing. You can hardly tell I carried it. There may be a few scratches. You can see a few on there. But I put this knife through the ringer, and you just can't hurt these things. And that was kind of the idea. But in 2014, they came out with this knife. So this 450, besides being an award-winning knife, came out 3 years before the bug out. And people might look at it like this is a bug out killer, but actually it came out before the bug out. And this is 2.5 ounces right here. The bug out is advertised as 1.85 ounces. So 7/700ths of an ounce lighter than this knife right here. And the bug out really, it came out promoting itself as a hiking knife. It's so light and rugged and durable, and it's great for hiking. And they tried to reimagine that knife into this fantastic high-end folder, and it just doesn't quite get there. Even when they put the bug out into carbon fiber format. And not only that, once they do that, once they put carbon fiber scales on them, they want to charge $320 for the knife. That's another nice thing about the ZT, and that is, this is a $228 knife. By the way, I didn't pay that. I paid $60. What? Yeah, I paid $60 for this knife. Because I used points that I had at Cabela's. I bought it from Cabela's. And so, yeah, I only paid $60 for this thing, and that's really why I bought it. But I've been, looking at it for a long time. But fantastic knife, nice action. You've got a lock bar insert here because this is titanium. And the lock bar is hardened. That's where they carbonize the metal to make it harder. So you're not going to have any problems of sticking. This thing just fires out. There is your flipper. It is a flipper. And it just fires out 100%. Now the detent on this is pretty strong. Let me see. You can pinch this open. You can pinch all of these open, by the way. But let's watch that detent as I close it. Way down there. And then bam. So that's the problem. Is this detent. There's the detent right there. And then it snaps in. So you have a double detent. It snaps in right there. And it's strong. I put a little bit of oil on there. It's a little better since I put the oil on. But that's really why this thing is not drop shutty. So you can get it to come home, but it's just not fidgety drop shutty like some of these other knives are. Like this Kaiser, just boop, she's dropping right away. So let's get to the conclusion on this. So I want to throw one more in here. It is a Benchmade. It is a Mini Freak. And I've used and abused this knife. You can see it's kind of scratched up there. And a lot of work on this knife. This, if you look down in here, there you go, right there. You can see that gray right there. That is a thermoplastic honeycombed scale there on the inside, and it's covered by rubber with some more plastic right there. Now, yeah, I mean, basically this knife is a plastic frame and covered by some rubber, but I've never had any trouble with it. You know, this Benchmade, I like it. This Mini Freak has really worked hard for me. I've never had any problems with it. It hasn't broke or cracked. So, you know, the plastic it'll do the job. But it is plastic, and the bug out is also, it's just FRN handles. So when you look at all these knives, there's some very fine knives here, right? A matter of fact, each one of these knives is a very good knife. The Kershaw, the ZT, the Buck, the Hogue, the Kaiser, and the Benchmade, which is hiding up there. All very good knives. But the truth is the best materials is in this ZT right here. And that's kind of ZT's thing. So the carbon fiber is very strong. You can see it's really thick. Same thickness, by the way, as the titanium. The titanium, very rugged and durable, and that's why they use them. It's also light. And then the S35BN is just a proven steel. I like it a lot, S35BN. I have no complaints with it. But as you look at the materials of each one of these, the ZT has the best material. So micarta is really nice, but a carbon fiber, I think, is above in strength and beauty on the brown micarta. The S35VN was actually developed to improve on the S30V, so it's a better steel. Now the Hogue has MagnaCut, which is a better steel than S35VN, but also has FRN handles, and you can see, you can just squeeze these in right there. Really didn't bother me when I was carrying this, but you know, it's FRN, and spending a lot of money for a knife, it just puts a bad taste in your mouth when they're sticking FRN on there. Why do they do that? They should at least go with G10 on there. And the Kaiser, again, you got a good steel on this Kaiser 154 CM. It's not a super steel. And then you have some G10 with some liners to back it up. This is a little heavier. It's about 3 ounces, you know, but this is a solid knife. 3 ounces doesn't bother me at all. And 154 cm is one of my best steels. Anyhow, so I mean, when you look at all these knives, it's just the ZT has the best materials in it. I think they've executed it the best, and it's probably the best knife in this bunch right here, and a great knife. If you never checked out one of these ZTs, they're just fantastic knives. I think I am going to look into getting some anodized hardware for this. I think it would look better with the green setting off this carbon fiber. But then I know there's guys who just like this blacked out look. You know, they like that. I'm okay with that. I like the little bling though. I like this offset anodized thumb stud on this Kaiser right here. And looks cool. I like the little accents. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative and you found it interesting. And thanks so much for dropping in. And we'll see you in the next one.